He's not breathing, and we need to. We're trying to pump him, but he's not.
Okay. Okay. How old is he?
He's 50 years old, sir.
50. Okay. He's unconscious. He's not breathing.
Yes, he's not breathing.
When we were dispatched to a 50-year-old male, cardiac arrest, we think this is a viable patient. This is someone, if we get to in a timely manner, we can save. And then when I enter this room, opulent room with medical equipment in it, I realized there's something unusual here. What 50-year-old male would be laying in bed at noon with medical equipment? We're not looking at the patient at that moment, until my partner did. He looked up and whispered the name, Michael Jackson.
Did anybody witness what happened?
No, just the doctor, sir.
There was a man with our patient who identified himself as the doctor. And as such, I immediately asked him some information. What had happened? How long has this been going on? And he told me then that it had just happened. This was a patient to me that it seemed that he had not just passed away, that some time had gone by before we were notified.
From the information that I had, it was probably an accident or natural, and we would find out that he had some pre-existing medical condition, and then we would be done.
Just look at what we knew in the first hours of this. Taken to the hospital, there wasn't a bloody knife, there wasn't a smoking gun. There was nothing on the surface that would lead anyone to believe anything nefarious had occurred.
When I arrived at the hospital, Dr. Murray was gone. So he was no longer there at the scene.
We're in a bit of a panic then. The one person that was in a room with them at the time that everything happened is no longer at the hospital.
There were several attempts right away to get a hold of Dr. Murray that were negative, that they were going to voicemail.
Yeah, family members, Jackson family members coming in and people wanting some questions answered as well as us.
In the room where he was being treated, a bottle of propofol had fallen on the ground and rolled under this moving nightstand. I didn't know what it did. That ended up being a huge deal later. I had no medical background whatsoever. My neighbor was a doctor. So I went to my neighbor and I asked him about it. And my neighbor was the one who got it started of, whoa, what is this doing here? This is only used in surgeries. This is used to put people under. We found a bunch of more medicines that he had used, like propofol and lidocaine. One of the other things that we found was we found all the waste, all the trash, the needles, the empty bottles, the stuff that when we went into the room should have been laying around. So we knew that sometime during this medical emergency, Dr. Murray had stopped either giving CPR or had waited to give CPR and cleaned up everything. If your goal is to preserve the life of the person that you're giving CPR to, why would you pause that to pick up trash unless you're trying to hide something?